Now that we know what like terms are, let's use our knowledge of like terms and how to identify them to actually simplify some algebraic expressions now. So what does simplest form mean? It just means when there are no like terms and no parentheses in the expression. To combine like terms, we can use the distributive property to add or subtract the coefficients. So let's run through 6 examples here and see how we can do. All right, number 1, we have negative 10x plus 15x. So what it means by the distributive property is we could take negative 10 plus 15 like this, and we could tack on our x at the end because they have the same variable, right? They are like terms. So what is negative 10 plus 15? Well, that would be 5. And then we put our x right there. So negative 10x plus 15x would be 5x. All right, number 2, 3/8 y minus 3/4 y. So we could do 3/8 minus 3/4, and we have our y here at the end. Now 3/8 and 3/4, those don't have a common denominator, so we need to create one. So this would be 3/8 minus 6/8, and then we have our y, because 3/4 times 2, 2 over 2 would give us 6 over 8. Now we do 3 minus 6, which would be negative 3. We keep our denominator and we tack our y on at the end. So 3/8 y minus 3/4 y would be negative 3/8 y. All right, number 3, 2.4r minus 2.4r minus 9.8r. So all of these have the same variable. So 2.4 minus 2.4 minus 9.8, and then we put our variable here at the end. Well, 2.4 minus 2.4, that's going to give us 0, right? So these two will essentially cancel out, and we are just left with negative 9.8, and we can put our variable r right next to that, okay? All right, next 3, 14 minus 3z plus 8 plus z. Now we have 4 terms here. Notice here we have a 14 and we have an 8. Well, 14 plus 8 would be 22. So 22 is going to be part of our answer. And now here we have a negative 3z and a z. So we could do negative 3 plus 1, because z would just be 1z, right? So negative 3 plus 1 is going to give us negative 2z. So now we have 22, we have negative 2z. We can write those together. You could either write it as 22 minus 2z, or you could write it as negative 2z plus 22. Okay, either one of those would be correct. They're both fine. All right, and number 5, 2.5t plus 4.3t minus 5. Well, here we have 2.5t and 4.3t, so those would be like terms. So we can add them, and then we have our variable here. So 2.5 and 4.3 would be 6.8t. And then notice here, all we had was one constant, so there's nothing to combine negative 5 with, so we just write it at the end of our expression just like that. And our final example, number 6, 2x minus 9x plus 8y minus y. So we have 2x minus 9x, and we have 8y minus y. So this would be 2 minus 9, and then we have our 8 minus 1, y. All right, so 2 minus 9 would be negative 7, and we have our x, and then here we would have 8 minus 1, which would be 7y. So we could leave it just like that, and we would say our answer is negative 7x plus 7y. And that is how you can simplify some algebraic expressions.